riffs are too repetitive, the lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides and the cover art's a mess. There's so much here to tear apart. Listen to it for a week, now that week has passed. It's Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Why I Hate This Album. I am one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey. With me, as always, co-host extraordinaire, KFC to my Popeyes, Timothy Richardson. Tim, how you doing, buddy?
I'm awful, Garrett. My back hurts. My legs are cramping. I'm sore. I am, frankly, miserable this week, Garrett, my friend.
Care for that casual nature, but we'll let it go. Tim, what's the deal? Did you start hitting the gym? You lifting weights? Are you getting that beach bod ready for the summer season? What's got you so sore?
I feel like you're trying to get me to cover for you. You see, Garrett, I don't know if you know this, but I have begun marking our communal stores of propofol so I can tell if you sneak some out of the bottles, like your father presumably used to do with a fancy scotch.
Oh, I see what you mean. You're checking the levels, seeing if I'm perhaps drugging you while you're asleep in order to get things done.
Right, exactly. So I noticed that you had removed enough propofol to keep me sedated for an entire week, so I decided to take action by pumping myself full of aminophylline and flumazenil and naloxone and a series of other drugs to protect against a wide range of potentially unwanted pharmaceutical incapacitation. What I failed to consider was that if you roll me up in a carpet and stuck me under the floorboards, I would spend the entire week rolled up in a carpet under the floorboards, but completely conscious, you see? And it was worse.
I'm sure. I am in no way admitting that any of this happened at all.
You don't have to, Garrett. I was awake the whole time. There's no tricking me. I spent the entire week under the floor listening to you listen to the song of the week and mentally trying to keep track of all my notes so that I would be ready to do this today.
If this happened, and of course no one here is saying it did, again, no one here is saying it did, but if it did,
and it did,
you're welcome. You had nothing else to focus on. No responsibilities. I noticed the chore wheel has not been spun. I think, Tim, maybe you disappeared after I gave you a very long talk about taking the second week in New York after securing the new East Coast headquarters. I think shortly after, you left under the guise of being propofoled and placed beneath the floorboards of our home.
No.
I don't think anyone's buying this.
Garrett.
Where were you, Tim?
I still have chunks of carpet taped to me.
I don't know what you do on the weekends. In fact, I prefer not to. If you want some sort of carpet boy, you playing carpet bagging games? You some sort of weird home remodeling play? That's weird.
Gaslighting aside, my point is, if a good friend's gonna drug you, just let him drug you. Nope, that's probably bad advice.
Okay.
But in my case, it's true.
Well, it kind of sounds like you wrongfully assumed I was going to drug you.
Rightfully.
You were not. Then when you were not, you found yourself on several self-administered narcotics to ensure that you remained awake, possibly jacked out of your mind.
No, but they don't do that. They just prevent the effects of your drugs.
Okay, so here's the problem, Tim. If there's no drugs administered, and there's really no way to know, and then you somehow got yourself in a Armin Tamzarian manner trapped in a carpet, and then rolled yourself beneath the house, I'm not going to sit here and be blamed for that. That sounds entirely plausible, if not likely. Mark it, Gino. Tim got trapped under the house himself.
Well, okay. I mean, it's very convincing. It's plausible, but I believe it's untrue because, again, I was awake when you took me.
He's using the Seymour Skinner defense. Tim, accusations and deep sedatives aside, what album and or song have we been listening to for an entire week?
Well, I have been listening to you listen to the Bryan Adams song, Everything I Do It For You.
The Bryan Adams song. Pretty sure you said Ryan.
I don't hear a difference.
We cannot start with this. Do not pan or pam me. It's Bryan Adams, you fuck.
Yes, that's what I said, Bryan Adams.
Right. Anyway, Tim, after an entire week of subterranean listening, do you hate this song?
Not yet, but I think I might. I might in an hour. Garrett, you could get me there. I hated the experience this week, but I will say that listening to Ryan sing about men in the forest evading the king's law or whatever this song's about, it did keep me sane.
I would love to know how you got trapped under the house.
You do know. You trapped me there in a carpet.
Sounds like the carpet trapped you there.
Okay. I mean,
maybe you brought a gun to a carpet fight.
Garrett, do you hate this song?
Absolutely not.
Ugh.
This song's great.
It's not great.
Oh, it's pretty great. Oh, it's pretty great. Oh, it's pretty great. It's pretty great, though. No, I don't hate it. I don't know how great it is. I doubt I can get there. Although I do think there's an opportunity for me to continue to enjoy it while simultaneously getting you there, which is, kind of best of both worlds.
Yeah, agreed.
All right. You hate it? Maybe. I don't hate it? Probably. Prior to this week, Tim, I'm super curious. 1991, you were but a mere lass. What's your history with Mr. Bryan Adams and Everything I Do It For You?
I mean, I've obviously heard this song about a few times, a handful, a baker's dozen, if you will. I have, of course, seen the movie you suggested I watch in preparation for this week, Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Nope.
I will say I had never once noticed this song in there. I rewatched the movie this week. I still don't think I caught it, but you and the internet swear it's in there. I will say, having rewatched it very recently, Robin Hood feels like a British cowboy, and I am into that. I am, though, kind of a Ryan Adams fan, though, I found out this week. I love Straight from the Heart, Summer of 69, Diana.
Okay, we're talking about the same guy, at least. That's
not a huge fan of how he treated Mandy Moore. Overall, some really wonderful work, and I count myself as a fan. Had you heard this song before? Little Everything I Do It For You? Little Ryan Adams? You into this? You hear it before? Getting history
I'm so mad at you right now. I'm just going to ignore it. Folks, I heard it too. Let's just ignore him.
Once.
Fuck off, you. You just fuck straight off. No more appeasement, Tim. No more confrontation. Water over rocks. You are rocks.
I don't know what that means.
You are rocks.
Okay. All right. I am rocks.
My history with this song. Well, it's a storied one. Of course, I've seen the film Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, starring Kevin Costner, doing a curious
is that okay?
Accent.
Nope. Now the music video makes a lot more sense to me.
We'll get there. Although I will speak just for a moment about Robin Hood Men in Tights. Cary Elwes. That's a pretty solid Robin Hood. All right. Oh, my history. Right. So, my personal history, Tim. Well, I owned this as a single.
Oh.
Yep. I had Everything I Do It For You as a single in probably, I would guess it was already 1992 when I had that.
What was the B-side?
I want to say a longer version of Everything I Do It For You. I think one side was the radio edit and the other side was the one we're going to talk about. The extended cut. Kanye watch. Where is it, folks? I still haven't gotten it. hatePodMail@gmail.com. I want to hear it. Yeah, so I had this as a single. My parents owned the soundtrack as a CD.
I could see Fred being very into Robin Hood, like uncomfortably into Robin Hood.
Define uncomfortable, Tim. All of it was uncomfortable.
Watching it as frequently as a Steven Seagal movie talking about how he kicks ass, eating ice cream, eating popcorn, just creeping some friends out.
Yeah, no, unfortunately there wasn't enough ass kicking for repeat viewings, but I watched it a great deal as a child. God, I've seen it probably 35 times.
Gross.
It's great. Although, honestly, in this week's viewing, there are some odd scenes. Like Rickman's doing Sheriff of Nottingham, of course, but there's a rape scene in that movie where he's like going for laughs, which doesn't play great in 2022. Anyway, rest in peace, Alan Rickman. We love him. That's your history. That's my awkward history. Before we can talk about the song itself, it's customary here on the show to learn a little bit about the person who made it. So Tim, take me on a journey. Help me understand who is Bryan Adams and how did this song come to be?
This is actually a pretty interesting history, Garrett. Bryan Adams is quite the impressive individual, and despite being only 62 years old, he feels like he has an additional 47 years worth of accomplishments to his name. Anywho, Bryan was born in 1959 in Ontario, Canada, to a British and then later Canadian soldier, and eventually UN peacekeeping observer, and even later Canadian Foreign Service diplomat who moved the family to Lisbon, Vienna, Tel Aviv, and then finally to Ottawa.
Whoa.
You've been to Tel Aviv, have you not?
I have been to Tel Aviv.
Garrett has spent some time overseas, how did you phrase it? Preventing
TCOB.
C.
No, TCOB.
We'll let the listener interpret that as they will.
Serving a little mistress known as America. Okay, just fuck off.
He started playing guitar as a preteen boy with an imitation Stratocaster and then an imitation Les Paul, then abandoned school to play in a band called Shock, somehow convinced his parents to spend his college fund, or possibly stole his college fund, allegedly, on a grand piano for him to just kind of fuck around on sometimes. He worked as a dishwasher at a restaurant and sold pet food for rent, and then started listening to rock and roll and going to concerts. Then he turned 15, Garrett, and because it's a lot of hard living happening before then. And at 15, he started singing for the band Sweeney Todd. The Sween, as I'm sure they would like to be known at the time, released the album If Wishes Were Horses in 1977. No one bought it. And
wait, if wishes were horses?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Well, Garrett, it's like if
I love that you had an answer ready. Just keep reaching back. Is something going to come out?
If every time you made a wish, you got a horse, how many horses would you have? You know, it's like if every time
millions.
You know, you ran your mouth, I got a nickel, and I have like some nickels. I don't know. It's a saying.
Oh, fuck. Well, you lost me at the end there, but but what's like? I'm sorry. Keep going.
No one bought that album. No one liked that album, and Ryan Adams left the band at age 16. In 1978, when he was 18, Ryan met Jim Valance and formed a lifelong songwriting partnership, seriously lifelong, because those two are still working together in 2022 in what is a depressing vision of our future. Then he signed to A&M Records for a single dollar. It's unclear if that was Canadian or US, and then released the debut album Bryan Adams in 1980. He released You Want It, You Got It in 81 and had a relatively minor hit on that called Lonely Nights, then got to tour in support of The Kinks and Foreigner.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I don't know. To me, this guy is like a 3-hit wonder, but apparently he's just like been around forever.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, you know, you got your like Journeys. They've got a greatest hits album full of songs that you might know, although you probably only know half of those. And then there's 13 extra albums that they've somehow released. What's on those albums?
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's true. Nobody wants to know.
In 1983, Ryan released Cuts Like a Knife, featuring the single Straight from the Heart, which was his first real hit. And then Reckless was released in 1984, which was his first #1 on the US Billboard 200, and it featured a bunch of songs you probably know. No need to mention any of them here.
Okay.
In 1985, the year of my birth, Ryan joined Why I Hate This Album favorite Neil Young and also Joni Mitchell, Bob Rock, John Candy, Eugene Levy, Paul Schaefer, and Gordon Lightfoot, among others, in an all-Canadian supergroup called Northern Lights to record the single Tears Are Not Enough to raise money for Ethiopian famine, and that was included in that We Are the World or whatever album.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
In 1987, Ryan released Into the Fire, and then in 89, he became a vegan, later saying, "For those who aren't veggie or vegan, it was the best gift I could ever give to myself. I work hard, I am always on the move, but I have tons of energy because I am plant-based. It's absolutely the best thing you could ever do for yourself. It is a great path." When he was then asked what he thought about the shape of human teeth or why humans have eyes in the front of their heads like predators and not on the sides of their heads like cows, Ryan pushed the interviewer to the ground, shouting, "This interview is over. I don't have to answer any of your trick questions, you savage."
Allegedly.
In 1991, he released Waking Up the Neighbors, an album presumably about loud coitus, which sold 16 million copies worldwide and featured the song of the week, Everything I Do It For You, recorded in part for that Robin Hood movie about the tight pants.
What do you mean in part?
In part.
It wasn't exclusively?
No, it was on that other album, that 1991
Well, sure,
album.
that's just a money grab. But that's the anthem, Tim. That plays over the credits.
Well, sure. It's like that Fight Club thing where that song plays over the end. Anyway, giddy at the success of his song about a character in English folklore, he collaborated with Rod Stewart and Sting for the single All for Love about and for the 1993 film The Three Musketeers. Do you
think they had like a rasp off?
Oh,
That's the three raspiest men in music.
Well, at least at the time. Yeah.
Well, who's out rasping them now? Nobody.
Okay, fair enough.
Tim,
fair
you
point.
you could fill the hole left by Bryan Adams. You could be this generation's raspy voice.
Is Bryan Adams dead?
No, just nobody's paying attention to him anymore. But he's about to get the WIHTA bump. You're welcome, Bryan.
Anyway, the Three Musketeers song did almost as well as the Robin Hood song. Then in 1994, he collaborated with Pavarotti in...
Have you ever seen that Three Musketeers, Tim?
Oh, yeah, it's great. It's really
Charlie
good.
Sheen, I think, is in there?
I think that's a different one.
No.
In 1995, he recorded recorded Have You Ever Really Loved a Woman for the soundtrack to Don Juan DeMarco and Star for the soundtrack of Jack. At this point, he was really trying to get an Oscar. Just going at it.
The soundtrack for Jack?
Yes.
Can we just take a moment? Oddly enough, I think we've talked about Jack before. Tim, have you seen Jack?
I don't think so. I don't.
It's a cruel, weird film that should never have been made. Have you ever seen the video reactions to when, spoiler alert, Captain America grabs Mjolnir in the old Infinity War or Endgame, whatever one that is?
Sure, yes.
Yeah, that crowd goes crazy. When Jack becomes an old man at the age of 16 or whatever it is, I would love to have seen the countless children's faces, horrified and saddened, as the main character, lovable, childlike Robin Williams, begins dying. Why did they make that movie? It's about a man who ages rapidly, and so it's based on progeria, but not really, you know.
Right, no. I assume
it's
these
terrifying.
Are kids that hadn't seen like 1 hour photo or...
They hadn't come out yet, Tim.
No.
Hadn't come out yet. Final Cut? Did you ever see Final Cut?
Is a fun movie, Garrett. There's a twist.
Is there? I don't even remember it.
Yeah, no, it's about how people have implants where they record their whole lives, and then people edit those lives, but the one thing that the editor cannot have is one of those implants, because then it's recording all those other people's lives. I'll let you guess
he can
the
do
twist.
whatever he wants.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, he's trying to get an Oscar. In 1997, he collaborated with Celine Dion to write Let's Talk About Love. In 1998, he released On a Day Like Today. Then he celebrated Y2K with a retrospective album titled The Best of Me, and then performed, as he would many times in the future, with Tina Turner as the clock struck midnight, January 1st, 2000, thumbing his nose at the chaos and horror that moment would surely bring. He made a few songs for one of the best films Garrett has ever seen, Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron, in 2002. And then
listeners, if you could send me a Stallion Spirit of the Cimarron t-shirt or
Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
His name is Spirit. He is a stallion of the Cimarron.
I stand corrected. Please take your finger off my chest. That almost got heated. Anyway, if you could please send me a t-shirt or sweatshirt for Cimarron, Stallion of the
Jesus Christ.
Inuit?
Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron. God,
That's
I hate
what
you.
I said.
No, it's not.
I said what?
You said
I'm pretty
Cimarron
sure I did.
Spirit of the Inuit, I believe. Anyway, no one do this. If you would like to Photoshop Garrett and I's faces onto posters of that movie, we will accept that. Then Garrett, Bryan Adams spent most of the 2000s making new albums and songs that no one cared about at all, and cashing in on the part of his career that people actually did care about. Then in 2008, he released his 11th album, 11, and then he approached Disney to see if they would let him make Pretty Woman into a Broadway musical. In 2010, he released a retrospective acoustic album, Bare Bones, which is exactly what Jack White should have done instead of releasing that god-awful bullshit acoustic recordings thing in 2016. He released a covers album called Tracks of My Years in 2014, original album Get Up in 2015, Shine a Light featuring Ed Sheeran in 2019. Then he finally got his wish and got Jim Valance to write music and lyrics with him for Pretty Woman, the musical, which debuted on Broadway and then opened in London's West End. In 2022, Garrett, the year this is being recorded, he released the original album So Happy It Hurts, a re-recordings album called Classic, and the soundtrack to Pretty Woman, the musical, which we have tickets to go see in a few weeks.
God damn it.
You're gonna
Have you ever seen the movie?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I don't know.
I love when she said, big mistake, big mistake.
God damn it, you have seen the movie.
Yeah.
I assumed you were lying. Great history, Tim. Weirdly interesting.
Not really.
There were a number of things in there I could have paused us on, but we must keep moving. Also, I really swore I wasn't going to indulge you in any way at all, but I want you to know that I know that you are saying Ryan Adams.
Yes. We're saying the same thing, Garrett.
We are not. Ryan. I'm not going to do this. Why am I doing this?
Garrett.
We all hear it. It's not funny. Nobody likes you.
Listen.
Water over rocks. You are the rocks.
This is another bit of your Tom Brady gaslighting, and I will not stand for it.
It isn't. No, do not bring Tom Brady into this.
We're saying the same thing. Ryan Adams. Listeners, write in.
hatePodMail@gmail.com.
What do you think we're saying?
Are we just two ships in the night? What's happening? I want to believe you, but I also want to strike you. Close fist. I won't, but I want to. I'm picturing it. It's satisfying.
Ryan Adams.
Fuck you. Tim, that brings us to general thoughts and the song itself. Before we listen listen to it, of course. Let's give everyone a little taste, a nibble, a drop, in case you're in the car, can't watch the video. But please do, we invite you, go watch that music video. Although this week it's not great. Really, if you really want to enjoy this, go watch Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. All right, let's get a listen.
Or any Robin Hood movie. You can watch.
Yeah, pretty much.
That animated Fox one. You can watch the one that I watched, thinking it was this one.
You should watch the animated Fox one.
Yeah, it's great.
You should watch all of them, but watch the Kevin Costner one first. That's the one I'm going to insist we talk about.
Okay.
You're going to be difficult, I can tell. All right, Gino, cue it up. Good stuff.
Good, but not great.
Raspy. It is easy listening, but it swept the country. We haven't really gotten into how well it did yet, but this thing
I have some
Tim.
Shocking facts for you, friend.
I'm excited. I won't be shocked at all, Tim. You're talking about 1991. I was 7 and I owned the single. Yeah. I was a Bryan Adams fan.
You're a weird little boy. I mean,
I really liked Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Oh God, you're a real ryehead.
Sure. Let's break it down. This is your parents' music.
Absolutely. Garrett, the one thought I had the entire time I listened to this, is it possible that this was secretly written by Diane Warren for either Celine Dion or Aerosmith originally? This
Aerosmith. Interesting.
This is Diane Warren Oscar bait.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Sorry. Oscar nomination bait.
Sure. Of course. She'll never win.
Oh, no. The Academy is really playing a pretty cruel joke on that woman. But
I think she's 0 for 14 at last I checked.
I think 13. Agree to disagree.
I didn't see the Oscars this year.
Is it possible that Bryan Adams is the male Diane Warren?
Oh, boy, I hate saying this, Tim. That's a great observation. This is 100%, because I was struggling to classify what type of music this is. It's very hard to quantify. What is this? It's not rock and roll by any stretch. It's not quite easy listening. It's a ballad, sure, but it's Diane Warren pop. The idea of Aerosmith singing this song is very interesting to me. But we can't dwell on that. I do think Mr. Adams wrote it with his writing partner, but I thought his writing partner was dead.
No.
Apologies to the estate of the potentially dead writing partner that we think is alive. I'm pretty sure he died. Anyway, it's Diane Warren-esque. It's a ballad. There's a lot of piano. There's a lot of guitar at some point. We'll get there, of course. But it is really, and it's really hard to say what this is, though.
It occupies the same space that a movie that's clearly Oscar bait. You know, this is something that there's no real reason for it to have been written. It doesn't tell an interesting
Matthew
story.
McConaughey is leading slaves to freedom. Nobody wanted that.
Exactly. You can tell that it only exists in an attempt to win an award. This is the musical equivalent of that. It doesn't really fit anywhere. It's not really any particular genre. It's just kind of this.
It's a song for the end credits of a movie.
Yeah, it's bland enough that no one can really. Yeah, it is. You're right. This was 1991's Venom.
We got there.
Yeah.
Well done, everybody.
You know what? I think we can move on to the music video. That pretty much sums it up.
God, it really does. But no, I wrote all these notes about the lyrics, so we'll read them. It opens, of course, with simple piano and some light strings. And as we said earlier, this voice, Tim, it's so raspy.
Are you saying this in a good way or a bad way?
Merely an objective statement of truth.
Okay.
It's impressive in that it does sound musically correct, but it is a voice that no one should want. It does sound a little like a poor man's Rod Stewart.
Yeah.
And poor man's isn't even quite fair, because he's got pipes. It's just, to me, it's an odd voice. It's like 1991's Mayer, John Mayer. Ew. Why should every song be like, your body is, everybody knows.
Yeah.
Giant hands.
Yeah, it's not a great voice. I mean, it's fine for what it is. I don't really care one way or the other.
Well, all right, let's get into it, Timmy. There's a lot of words. This thing's 6 minutes and 35 seconds. As we said, opens with a little piano and light strings, and Bryan says, look into my eyes. You will see what you mean to me. Search your heart, search your soul, and when you find me there, you'll search no more. Pause.
Yeah, indeed. I might have to pop this shirt off.
Oh my God. Getting steamy in here, Gino. Crack a window.
This is what love sounds like, Garrett. This is what love looks like. This is what obsession looks like. This is what the kind of love. Now we're on the same page. Yeah, the kind of love that will turn violent at a moment's notice.
And it might just be a misunderstanding.
It's not a misunderstanding, Garrett. It was always going to end in violence.
Good Good God.
Yeah.
I hope we're talking about this song.
Well, okay. If this young lady does exactly what Bryan Adams says at every moment, there's not going to be any violence. There's no threat here. But if she deviates, Garrett, he's gonna phrase it as something creepy, like there's gonna be some sort of code word that's not really a code word, like correction or something. I'm gonna give her corrections. It's horrifying. Just horrifying.
Corrections?
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
I
back to
agree.
the song. Well, I mean, that first line really does back it all up, though, doesn't it, Timmy? I mean, folks, listeners at home, and some of you, we've gotten the emails. You're viewers, and that's awesome. Find the feed. But look into my eyes. If you're saying, look into my eyes, guess what? Two things. One, you're in the wrong. Everybody knows it. You're already in the wrong. Two, the other person, the one you're talking to, the one you're trying to convince frantically, etc., they don't believe you. You have said, look into my eyes. Instantly, they don't believe you. Unless they're a complete idiot. In which case, go forth. But you could have said anything. Don't feel good about yourself. But yeah, if you're saying that, that is a window into a house of insanity that you don't want any part of. The search your heart, search your whole soul bit, it does kind of give me the impression that he's super into her and she is maybe not reciprocating quite how he would prefer. There might be some corrections.
Yeah, it makes it sound like one of two things. Either one, there's got to be some sort of feeling for me in there, just anywhere. You got to just keep looking.
Yeah, just keep looking. If you look in your soul long enough, you will see that you also love me.
The other possibility is keep searching your heart, search your soul. Like, you've got to have at least a little bit more forgiveness for me.
Oof. I think at that point we call it pity. But then we get to the chorus, the first of many.
Yeah. And
they change.
Yes, they do. Don't tell me it's not worth trying for. You can't tell me it's not worth dying for. You know it's true. Everything I do it for you. For you.
Okay. Lots of... Okay. After dark.
I do it for you.
Ooh, on the TLC tip. Lots of stuff in here, Tim. Obviously, he's upset. Sounds desperate. First mention of dying for their love there. It's not don't tell me. You can't tell me it's not worth dying for.
It's definitely the first. There's so many. So many.
A lot of this song is about death.
It's weird. He is super fixated on the possibility either of both of them dying for each other in some sort of super romantic Romeo and Juliet kind of way, or possibly, maybe he's thinking the possibility of dying for this lady or man. I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but he does seem really obsessed with that idea, so much so that it becomes kind of concerning, like he either knows for sure it's about to happen.
Yeah, like it's an inevitability. Either it's going to be me, you, or both of us.
Right. So either he knows something she does not, or the other possibility, he wants her to have fond memories of him after he faked his death so he can move on.
Oh, interesting. Okay. That's considerate.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's the thing. Younger listeners, don't ever break up with somebody without a plan. You got to make them remember you in a positive light. So
I thought you said fake your death.
Absolutely. But you do it in a way that's heroic. So, okay, let me...
But then you said break up.
Let me throw this... Well, yeah, this is technically a breakup.
They're not the same thing.
It is, Garrett. It is the same thing.
Wait, are you telling me every time you've broken up with somebody, you also faked your own death?
Let me just throw a scenario your way, Garrett.
Tim, you can't keep faking your death to get out of things.
Absolutely
I want to end this relationship, fake my death. Don't want to pay for that pizza, fake my death. You scared the dickens out of that Domino's delivery driver.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It did.
Here's what you do.
We were sued.
Here's what you do. You want to break up with somebody. You don't want to look like the bad guy, right? So you drive. It's a snowy night. Your car breaks down on the bridge, right? And that's... You get out, she's helping you change the tires. Of course she would. She's a nice lady.
Oh, man, she's there.
Oh, yeah, of course. And now you've hired some, I don't know, it doesn't really matter what. For the purposes of this, we'll just say some ninja assassins, right? And they're going to push the lady off the bridge. But right at the last moment, Garrett, you jump in. You fight them off, but you fall off a bridge. Obviously, there's a net, and you're fine. You've concealed a net. But you've pretended to save your lady from assassins. You've died falling off a bridge. You're remembered as a hero. When she gets remarried, she's probably still going to have a picture of you somewhere in that house because you saved her life on that bridge from the ninja assassins. But, then you're free to do whatever you want.
Interesting. So, a few things stand stand out to me. One, this definitely is a thing you've done because there's too many things that add up. One, the constant net rentals.
Well, yeah.
Two, the fact that you've made it something ridiculous, like a ninja assassin, is what enables you to get away with a high-profile death that nobody wants to write about because you'll sound insane.
Exactly.
This is scary. The fact that you're doing this for all manner of things is just, it's unhealthy to, sometimes you gotta be the bad guy. You're so often the bad guy. To me.
In every one of these situations, Garrett, I'm the bad guy, but that's the genius of it. They don't know. They think that I'm a hero.
No, I get that. Nobody was confused.
Okay.
I'm saying there we go. You're the worst guy.
Right.
Because you refuse to be the bad guy.
Exactly. Yeah. So in the end, Garrett, really, I am the one sacrificing. I am the one taking this all on because I have agreed to be the worst person. I have to deal with the fact that I am, as you said, the worst person. But all of these people, Garrett, they get to live their lives with fond memories. You see.
Sure.
So I'm doing them a solid, is my point.
What if they're terrible people and by breaking up with them, you could have helped them realize that they're a bad person. They need to make changes.
Garrett, these are all wonderful people.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
No, you just want to go Tim off for a bit.
What?
I mean, come on. You've heard us use that around the old headquarters once in a while. When you disappear for 2, 3, 7 days, we're just out there timming off. We don't know what you're doing.
Hiding me in walls under the floorboards.
Listen,
you're set. Well, sometimes I'm off in New York getting very expensive real estate. But the point is...
but then sometimes you don't come back when you're supposed to, and you stay an extra week, and you buy a bunch of nets.
You
got nothing.
In my defense, Garrett, we're going to be happy we have some of those nets when we're super high up in Manhattan. Deaths. Oh, yes. And in fact, Garrett, you and I can do this together. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know. You've pointed that out a few times.
Well, but I'm just saying, maybe we just moved to Manhattan. No one knows we purchased anything up there. We just completely abandoned here's the thing.
Tim, we have announced on multiple episodes that we recently purchased real estate, and you just told everyone. Again.
Shut up. Here's the thing. We get a very trustworthy intern, and we secretly sign everything over to him. Then we burn this place to the ground for insurance money, which goes to him. So if anything goes wrong, it'll probably get traced back to him. You know who the him is I'm talking about. You and I
You're not going to frame Tom Brady for this. You leave that boy alone. He's got a bright future ahead of him.
You know what?
I don't.
The next time I fake my death, not saying that I do this, but just, theoretically, the next time someone fakes their death, they could just frame Tom Brady.
Don't.
In fact, anyone listening.
Anyway.
Yes.
Also, I want to focus on the it's true, everything I do it for you. Yes. Is that I do this for your benefit? I do this to impress you? What is he doing? Are we robbing banks? What's happening? Is this Robin Hood? Is he doing it to impress me, Marion? What are we talking?
It's one of those times where, he's a famous rock star. He's coming home and Mandy's sitting there. She's like, you've been gone for quite some time, much longer than your tour.
It's the wrong Adams.
Bryan Adams.
Brian.
Right, exactly. And so, she's like, you reek of heroin and cocaine mixed together.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and you reek of other women. And he's just like, listen, baby, everything I'm doing it for you, right? I gotta get out there. I gotta get some of my stuff out, exercise a few of my demons so that whenever I come home to you, I'm the best version of myself for you, right? I'm letting go of the bad parts of my personality out on the road. I'm unloading that on other people. I gotta get some of that
stuff out? Is that what you said? Are you talking about semen?
No. Just his, aggression or whatever.
All right. Anyway,
desire to do cocaine mixed with heroin and pills.
Right. Yeah, that happened too.
Allegedly.
Sure. Of course, sticking with the Robin Hood theme of the song could just be Robin Hood is fucking with the Sheriff of Nottingham and giving the money to the poor people just literally to impress her, which sounds right. Or, of course, this is more from the bent of the sociopath we were discussing earlier. He's doing something truly awful, but as a sociopath is wont to do, claiming that it's absolutely necessary for you and them.
Do you think that in The Dark Knight, when Alfred tells Batman the story about the guy that's stealing rubies, as big as tangerines, is he talking about Robin Hood?
You are mixing a couple of movies, but yes, more or less, yes. Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Exactly. So Robin Hood is really the villain of The Dark Knight.
Or of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Interesting. So you're firmly on the sheriff's side, conceptually.
No, the sheriff's a piece of shit. He's eminent domain, Tim. He just comes in, he takes your shit, and he's like, this is part of my kingdom. That's how how he got Robin of Locksley's land. Came in, blinded his poor manservant, and then murdered his father.
He's keeping order.
No, not order. He's just taking over other people's land, Tim, and claiming it as his own. That's order, but it's also a little something our good buddy Gino knows a thing or two about. Talking about fascism, Gino!
Look into your heart. You will find there's nothing to hide. Take me as I am. Take my life. I would give it all. I would sacrifice.
All right, step. First of all, excellent reading. Second, now, Tim, allow me to lighten the mood for just a moment. I happen to be watching all 9 canonical Star Wars movies on mute while listening to this on repeat. And there's nothing funny about that. The funny part is that it just so happened in the scene, spoiler alert for episode 7, when Ben kills his father, Han Solo, on the bridge and they're having a little conversation. It just so happened during that scene, I heard the following lines. Look into your heart. You will find there's nothing there to hide. Take me as I am. Take my life.
Interesting.
I would give it all. I would sacrifice. Just in that brief moment, Tim, for one moment, Star Wars Episode 7 perfectly synced up with Bryan Adams' Everything I Do, and I made chocolate milk squirt out of my nose.
Interesting. Now, do you think it was Bryan Adams' genius, or do you think it was...
that inspired the scene?
No. It's because what you're describing is some sort of Wizard of Oz, Dark Side of the Moon situation, and I'm asking, do you think that Bryan Adams is such a genius that he was able to predict what the movie would be in the future, 25 years in the future, and write this song for that to perfectly fit that? Or do you think that Disney designed that scene to perfectly mimic this song?
Oh, definitely the latter. I imagine JJ was at home listening to Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves soundtrack and writing the script, of course, and was instantly influenced in that scene to have Old Man Ford Han Solo, basically say, take me as I am, take my life, I would give it all, I would sacrifice, and then he dies.
Yeah, all right.
Let's see. Song continues with a chorus again with a slight change. Don't tell me it's not worth fighting for. I can't help it. There's nothing I want more. You know it's true. Everything I do it for you.
Yeah, and I mean, it continues this, I will say anything. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be true. It doesn't even have to be in any way linked to reality. I will say anything I need to fix that, to make you mine.
For me, it's starting to sound like the reason she wants to break up is the things that he is doing.
Yes.
All those for her. Like, it really feels kind of like a bank robber situation.
Or,
maybe.
I mean, it could be something far less or far more innocuous than this. It could be just he's having thousands and thousands of flowers delivered to her office every single day. She doesn't know what to do with them. She can't get in. I mean, she can't even fit in her office anymore. You know, it could be
people are complaining.
Yeah. Like she goes to her office and just various businesses there. He's just replaced so that they can have little kind of cute conversations throughout the day. So she goes to her, the local coffee shop, and he's the one handing her coffie. Oh,
Jesus, that's not less innocuous. He's leasing multiple storefronts and posing as the employees of all of them?
They're the businesses she normally goes to. She goes to get her boot shined, and he happens to be the shoe shine guy that day. The point is, he's just slipping the employees a couple of bucks to let him take this one, or possibly killing them. I don't know. But the point is, she's just freaking out because he's always there, and it's what he thinks is cute. The things he does for her, they're not
terrifying.
Wanted. Yeah, or maybe he's the kind of guy that she's sitting on her couch and she just would like to read for a little while, and he's just kind of next to her, just what you thinking about? Is it you want to talk? No,
Nothing.
I want to fucking read. I want to watch all the Star Wars movies in a row on mute while I listen to Bryan Adams. The point is that when you have somebody that's this clingy, that's just always showing up, that's just always doing weird bullshit that they think is going to impress you, sometimes you just have to drug them with some sort of weird milky concoction and roll them up and stuff them in a wall or beneath the floorboards, whichever is closest. But most importantly, you should ensure that the drugs have worked, right? Jab them with a fork a little bit and make sure they don't stir.
It's a 6 1/2 dozen, Tim. Either way, problem solved.
There's no love like your love, and no other could give more love. There's nowhere unless you're there all the time, all the way. Yeah.
I want you to stop.
Yeah.
Correction. I want you to read all of it. No.
All of everything. Yeah, but this goes to my point, Garrett. This is the story of somebody that's obsessed with somebody that was just only marginally into him to begin with, and he just cannot see that, right? There's no love like your love. No other could give more love. There's nowhere unless you are there, right? This is a person that wants to be around her constantly. It's
That's fantastic.
off-putting.
He's everywhere all the time, all the way.
Mm-hmm.
I took it a different way. This was the only part that I thought was 100% about Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. I think that, so a big plot point of the movie is that Robin Hood's rescuing Maid Marian from the Sheriff of Nottingham. But the whole lead up to that scene is kind of like a will they, won't they, Ross and Rachel situation. I think this section is basically about Robin being like, there's no love like your love, and no other could give more love. There's nowhere unless blah, 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 all the time, all the way. To me, Tim, I think this is kind of Robin being like, so I'm going to come rescue you, super risk my life, all the, what are they called in the forest there? The Lost Boys or the...
I think that's right.
You know what I'm
Merry
talking
men.
about? Merry men, right. You'll be my merry men. Robin, can we talk about the name? No, you're my merry men. You know, but like merry men, nobody talks like that. Now we're going to go kill a bunch of people. It'll be like marauders. Or, you're my merry men. Anyway.
Could we be the Forest Cowboys?
No, definitely wouldn't be the Forest Cowboys. Forest Cowboys on the editing floor. The murder machine. That's what you want to be called if you're going to go face off against Alan Rickman.
How about the Sharks?
Carve your heart out with a spoon. You know, that movie has a scene where he screams, I'll carve your heart out with a spoon. It's amazing. And then a guy in the movie goes, why spoon? Why not a knife? He's like, because a spoon would be dull and it would be harder. Like they literally asked the question, which a 7-year-old Garrett really appreciated.
Yeah. You had a weird childhood, and I understand why you grew up to be such a
unique and gifted young man.
Grump.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that whole section is Robin being like, love is a euphemism for banging. We're going to bang if I do all this, right?
Oh, yeah, Garrett. Here's the secret to music. Love is always a euphemism for banging. Always.
Fantastic. You heard it here first. Trademark WIHTA quotes. I don't know how do we trademark this sentence, but Tim, that's fantastic. Love is always a euphemism for sex in music. Did you say here's the thing about music?
Possibly. We'll have to rewind the tape.
Check the tape, Gino. Oh, continue, Tim.
Oh, you can't tell me it's not worth trying for. I can't help it. There's nothing I want more. Yeah, I would fight for you. I'd lie for you. Walk the wire for you. Yeah, I'd die for you. Second mention of dying for somebody not asked for. Now,
what does walk the wire mean? I assume it's a
trapeze or a high wire act.
Yeah, that's all I can think of. But that doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Maybe that's how he's going to die. Perhaps. Okay. Here you go.
Dies in an amateur high wire.
Here you go.
Act.
Okay. This is another pretty good way. You've got her up on that bridge. It's snowy, you know, and you're just like, hey.
Is this another way to fake your death just so we're on the same page?
I want to impress you. You know, I've learned guitar for you. That's really romantic. I've learned a tightrope act for you. And you get out there over that bridge. It's dead of night, okay? Just super dark. She can barely tell you're on there. She obviously doesn't know that you've got several people beneath the bridge with the net that are going to whisk you away. So you just, you start wobbling and then you pretend that was just, you're just messing with her. But then you really do fall, Garrett. You fall to your death, or so she
3
thinks.
feet below.
Exactly.
I'll always love you.
Yeah.
This wasn't a bit. Don't look for my body.
Oh, yeah. And that's another really great piece of advice. If you can, shout something to the effect of, don't look for my body, or...
Oh, I know what I would shout.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, man, there's a whole bunch of crocodiles down here. Probably going to get eaten.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Tim. I do want to point out one thing you just skipped over carelessly. There's an incredible sexy guitar solo with piano accompaniment while Mr. Adams just kind of makes remarks. Look into your heart, babe. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, were
just
people
over some sexy guitar
saying babe in Robin Hood days?
Ye old babe. I don't know. Are people saying babe still? Yeah, unfortunately.
Maiden,
we do know the answer to that.
lass,
wench,
side piece. These are all things.
No, side piece is not an official medieval term.
Oh, where did that come from?
Me. No, well, not me, but that's where you learned heard. I don't know where I heard it.
Probably on the MTVs. Anyway, yeah, no, it's pretty great. He's kind of wailing a little bit. There's some good instrumentation. Can't complain.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty sexy. Tim, you took us all the way up to the bridge where she says, search your heart, search your soul. You can't tell me it ain't worth dying for. Just another reminder. Third time in the third verse, somebody's going to have to die.
Yeah, and at some point, he kind of stops making it he's the one that's got to die. You know, maybe...
Well, that's how you do it, Tim. First it's him, then it's somebody, then it's definitely you.
Yeah, because here's the thing. If you're willing to die for your respective partner in a relationship, it's a little bit selfish of them to not want to die also for you, right?
That's a bit of a catch-22, though.
Well, no. Let's say you're on that bridge, ninja assassins, they're going to kill one of you, right?
Ooh, stampeding elephant herd.
No, because they could easily kill both of you. The ninja assassins are very specific. They only want
Maybe they're highly trained.
They only want one life. The point is, if you step forward and you say, no, take me, you look back, just out of courtesy, he or she should also step forward and say, I am also willing to die for this relationship, right? My point is that if you're willing to die for them, it's selfish of them not to offer the same. And at that point, why not just accept their offer?
Okay, so now I'm trying to picture this Craigslist ad. Wanted. 4 men, ninja experience, a plus. Must be willing to pretend to murder victim or really murder other person if they agree to death.
Yeah, no, you got to be really specific, because what if he or she offers to be killed by the ninjas first, then you look like you're the other person that they would really kill, you see? And then
I see.
And what if
you're going to go over it, Tim? This is just the ad.
Okay, so you make sure you meet them in person first so they know your face. That is key. Go ahead.
Oh my God, yeah. It's like you've never faked your own death.
It's not like that at all.
It sure seems like it. It's a wonder you haven't been murdered. Well, you probably never used ninja assassins, to be fair.
Well, there have been some ninjas and some assassins, just never the same.
Fantastic. The second
I will tell
bridge.
You this, Jared. Matt Damon, as a cameo, he will pretend to be his Bourne Identity character and pretend to assassinate you so you can get out of a relationship. It's awesome. Oh yeah, they do play Moby after it too. It kinda, well, because no one knows who he is, because he's that good, you know?
Sure.
Like, you'll never see him coming, you'll never see him going. You know, he's like a ghost, essentially, so you gotta play that music so that she knows what happens. Or he. Anyway,
it's the craziest thing.
Craigslist ad.
So Tim and I were coming out of, it was great. Tim and I went to go see, they had Back to the Future 2 at Alamo. It was awesome. Everybody was super into it. And when we were leaving, out of nowhere, what I thought was Matt Damon in a loose knit sweater, turns out Jason Bourne murdered Tim.
Yeah. Jeremy Renner attempts to provide the same service, but no one has ever taken him up on it.
The medicine.
You know how much better that movie would have been if you just switched Oscar Isaac and Jeremy Renner's roles?
Which movie?
The Bourne movie.
I don't think I saw it.
Oh, okay. Well, my point is that there's a very minor role. You know, one of the Bournes is Oscar Isaac, and one of the Bournes is Jeremy Renner. And Oscar Isaac is killed almost immediately, and Jeremy Renner is not killed at all. And I think it would be a much better movie if you switched those roles.
I think it's proof that there's no God that Oscar Isaac doesn't have a better film career than Jeremy Renner. I mean, he will someday, probably. But
oh, yeah, he will.
Jeremy Renner's like a multi. I mean, you know, Tim, you did the math.
Yeah, he's the best paid Avenger.
God damn it. Anyway, that brings us to the second bridge, and we're almost done. He said I'd be there, yeah. Oh, I'll walk the wire for you, yeah. I will die for you.
Now,
oh, yeah.
That one's interesting because it changes from I would die for you, it's worth dying for.
Now it's I will. It's definitive.
Yes, he's gonna do it.
Now is she coming with him? Tough to say. Hey, maybe that's how you find your soulmate, Tim. If, interesting, you volunteer. No, don't take her, take me. And then she says, no, don't take him, take me. You say, we'll both go. And if she says yes, you jump in the net together. You marry that girl.
What if, okay, here's the other way to find your soulmate. You do some sort of high wire act on that bridge, or you jump off the bridge, but let's say she has also decided she wants out of this relationship, so she has a second net set up under the bridge, which she is also planning on jumping off of, and then you both jump off together, but separately, you see, and you end up in the same.
That's a meet cute in a Oscar Isaac film.
Yeah,
but,
and if they were really trained volunteers there, they would tip the net so that the two of you would roll together, and at the end land in a kiss, and that's the end of your movie.
Trained volunteers, fantastic. I love that you're not paying these people.
Like, you don't pay me very much, Garrett. I can't.
I don't hold my life in your hands.
You have on.
In so much as I'm in the same room as you, I guess. But anyway, let's finish this piece of decent music. Oh God, what have you done to me? I will die for you all the time. I'm going all the way, all the way.
That's what he's saying there. I'm going all the way. He's going to do it. He has finally decided he's going to fake his death or allow her to be killed.
Well, sure, but he then in the very last line, Tim, of the outro says, take me by the hand, oh.
But who's he talking to? Perhaps
not the ninja.
He's talking to the person that's going to pull him out of the net. You know, one of those.
Oh, I see. No, because the whole song is to his beloved. So I think it's meet cute. He's a test. It's a crazy test that will probably end in a breakup anyway.
Or a death.
If she says, I'm coming with you. Or, you know what, Tim? Maybe we're thinking about this all wrong. Could be a volcano.
Oh, I really like that. But all that lava is just like Play-Doh or something, you know.
Sure. I was going to say lights and high C. Ecto cooler.
Oh, yeah. You want something delicious to jump into is the point.
Yep. All right. Then it slowly fades out like an Amir song, and that brings us to the music video. It's true.
It is true.
Now, Tim, I don't want to spend too much time on this. We've arguably spent too much time on the song, but there are two versions of this music video.
Yes, there's at least the technical official version, the one that Bryan Adams has put on the internet, is just a black and white concert footage.
Yeah, and it's infuriating. I won't go through any of it except for one single frame. Well, it's probably more than one frame. 10 frames where a couple in the crowd at a live show are dancing together to the song being played. If you are this person, we all are making fun of you. Stop immediately.
I believe this person was in the comments of the YouTube video for this.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look. I mean,
now she's 60, so I don't think I should go like...
Yeah, don't harass them.
Yeah, I won't. Anyway, but then, Tim, there's the first official music video, which I swear was an official music video.
Go on.
So there's the official version when the song came out, and this was how it used to work. When a song was associated with a movie, every song like that got, assuming it was a successful song, got a music video comprised of the artist intercut with scenes from the movie.
Right.
And this is no different. So there's this Julian Temple directed music video, we'll call it, that's just tons of clips interspersed with Bryan Adams wearing various versions of denim outfits and wandering through a forest.
There's like a mill behind him at some point.
Yeah, an old spooky mill.
Yeah.
But the crazy part is that version, which was an official version released by, like, this isn't bullshit. It was officially released. It does not exist on YouTube.
That's true. You found it for me on Facebook, I believe.
Yeah, it took some doing to get to that. It's not that great, but it's quite fascinating from the standpoint that it does actually pretty accurately sum up the film Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves in like 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, you can probably just watch that music video instead of the movie, which is probably why it's not on YouTube, because they want to make you watch the actual movie, not the condensed version. And I will say, it was a confusing music video for pretty much the entire week until we began speaking about this, because I was under the impression that they had made a Robin Hood movie, and I watched that Robin Hood movie. This song was not in it. And then they made a music video with this song in a completely different series of Robin Hood scenes. It's a completely different movie.
Nope, I hate you. I hate you so much. Tim, I've got a few notes on this, but not a lot. What about you?
I mostly wrote don't care. It's just them playing in the movie.
A couple of fun things. At one point, Bryan does wear a duster trench coat combo on the cliffs of Dover.
Well, sure, but I mean, we've seen it done. Does he wear any scarves at the same time?
I couldn't tell because it was all buttoned up because he seemed quite chilly.
Not interested then. If the weather outside is too cool for the duster you are wearing, you don't button the duster, you add a scarf.
Wow. Sound advice. That's about it. Good duster advice, Tim. That brings us to How Did It Do? Tim, how did it do?
Well, Garrett, this did very well. This was a #1 single in Australia, Austria, Belgium, Canada, Denmark, on the Finnish Suomen Virallinen lista in France, Germany, Greece, Ireland, New Zealand, Norway, Portugal, on the Swedish Sverigetopp-lista, and it was #1 on the Swiss Schweizer Hit Parade, in the UK, in the US, and of course, Garrett, it was a #1 single in the Dutch. Now, it only hit #7 on the El Salvadorian El Siglo del Torreon charts, though, which is something I will begin mentioning every episode. It was a #1 song on the US Billboard Hot 100 for all of 1991.
What?
Oh, not the whole year. It was the #1 song of the year. Sorry.
For all of 1991. Right. It's like, that's quite a run.
Especially since it didn't come out in January. It was the number 37 song on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 for the 90s, inexplicably the number 21 song for the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 of all time. It sold more than 4 million copies in the U.S. alone, more than 15 million copies worldwide. It is the 12th best-selling physical single of all time, nestled right between Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You and, you guessed it, John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John's You're the One That I Want.
Doo-wop, shoo-wabba wabba woohoo.
Absolutely.
That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. What are you buying, America? Also, the Christmas song?
Also, fuck you, buddy. You were part of that.
I wasn't talking about this. I'm talking about the Grease soundtrack. Oh, okay. I was part of that, too.
Yeah.
But not that Mariah Carey Christmas nonsense. You know how many versions of that song exist?
Now, did your sister ever buy that for you for Christmas?
Doesn't matter, Tim.
Right. You were part of that as well.
Man, what was the deal with my house in Casingles? That's how it did, but Timbo, what do people think of it?
Well, there are some absolutely tragic YouTube comments, Garrett. So many people died, and this was so many people's songs. I will skip those. There's also a lot in Spanish for some reason, and despite my newfound love of the El Salvadorian charts, I'm going to skip those as well. The first, by general comment. This song reminds me of a guy who likes his girl so much that he is ready to die for her. And trust me, killing yourself isn't a coward. You need lots of guts to die. Many of us somehow manage to live, but rarely talk about death. He is willing to fight the world for her, even willing to lie. He can just do anything and everything the girl wants. This is a comment by somebody who would like to remind you, suicide, not just for the cowardly.
That is the kind of comment I can't really make any jokes about without being a real dickhead.
Cobra Car 13. I'm a paramedic. Every time I listen to this song, I believe I'm talking to God about the path he has led me on. Everything I do it for you. I also believe that I'm talking to my patients with that line. I plan to become a PJ and search the world for people in their most critical time. I can only hope to serve God in such a way that others may live.
What's a PJ?
Don't know. Didn't look it up.
Lots of questions there. What does being a paramedic have to do with God?
Oh, I believe he is harassing people that he gives CPR to about the love of Jesus or something.
Well, that's unfortunate. I like to think he's just got this on repeat in his 8-hour shift. His fucking ambulance mate is just like, dude, anything else?
May I talk to you about Jesus? Okay, put on the Bryan Adams again. Jesus fucking Christ. Jan Adkins Pont. To me, I hear the voice of this beautiful anthem, Jesus Christ and his incomprehensible love for each of us. The conversation he has with us in our hearts and struggles, and his atoning sacrifice for us, nailed upon a cross.
What? It's not about Jesus. It's about Robin Hood.
No, it's about faking your own death on a bridge in a snowy night. Zaza,
have you seen Robin Hood?
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Zaza Zipper, more than 30 years on, and it's still such a good song. And geez Louise, Bryan Adams is still just as good looking as he was then. Maybe even better looking. Not that it has anything to do with his musical talents, which can't be put into words. But damn, he is definitely one that ages like wine. He was always handsome, but now, oh man, hot damn.
It's got so weird. Good for her, though. He looks like a poor man's Eric Stoltz.
Yeah, he's not attractive. Mickey. Back in the day, I used to translate these lyrics to my language and send it in a form SMS to the ladies. Helped me a lot, Ryan, because they had no idea but loved every word.
Oh my God. I don't know if you're going to top that, Tim. I hope that was the last one.
Hold on. I've got one more. This is by Samuel Duran. Once upon a time, I was sitting at my table looking at a beautiful girl while listening to this song. She was at another table with another man, but we looked at each other and I couldn't stop looking at her because she was beautiful. In the end, I never met her and never saw her again, but this song always reminds me of her.
That's a worse story than my Star Wars story.
I would argue your Star Wars story was critical to this episode.
To understanding the song itself. No, I agree, or at least to understanding the Skywalker saga.
Yeah, that's fair.
Bryan Adams was the missing piece, people. Episode 9 is genius. Good reviews, Tim. Who's this for?
Well, this is for people that don't speak English and know people that also don't speak English but have never heard this song so that they can text lines of this in their language to this other person so that they can make make love to that person under false pretenses.
Yep, nailed it. Brings us to final thoughts. I don't have anything additional to say to you.
Oh, God, no.
Fantastic. So I'll ask the question. After going all the way through it, Tim really soaking it up, do you hate this song?
I don't. I mean, it's weird. It's real weird, and it was fun to talk about, but I kind of meh it. Like, I'll never listen to this again. I've got no real interest in this, but I just don't care enough, I guess, to hate it. Is that possible? Is that a thing I can do?
Sure.
All right. Garrett, did I get you there? Did all of my talk about Ryan Adams and all this thing, did I get you there this week? Do you have hate in your heart?
I do, for you. I'm deeply enraged by all your stupid little bits this week. Made it very difficult to talk about a subject. Sometimes your bits, your wordplay, makes it literally difficult to have a medium in which we try to have a conversation.
I do not know what you're talking about.
Fantastic. We'll just do this the whole time then. Do I hate this? No. If I liked this scale of 1 to 10 start of the week, I probably liked this at a 7. Down to a 3. But I don't hate it.
Yeah, I think 3 out of 10 is the appropriate rating for this song.
Here's the weird part. Assuming it's not tomorrow, maybe even if it is tomorrow, when this comes on again, I'll probably listen to the first half. I think it's got a perfect opening.
Meh.
Before he sings.
Meh.
Okay, well, you're dead inside. Good work, Tim. That brings us to listener mail. Would you like to go first, or would you like me to?
Well, Garrett, like every week, I would like you to go first.
That is not canon. All right, my listener email this week, Tim, is from Alyssa. Alyssa titled her email, "It's Been Done." Don't like the start of things. Message of the email says simply, number 144 Coldplay Parachutes, "It's been done," with a mysterious link to Wikipedia. Love, Alyssa. Alyssa, appreciate the love. I followed this link, Tim. Tim, have you seen this?
No, I haven't.
So I followed this link that Alyssa shared with us in reference, apparently, to episode number 144, the now classic Coldplay Parachutes episode, which I do not remember anything about. And she sent us this link, and the link takes us to a Wikipedia page centered around Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Oh, God
AKA
damn it.
Foster's Home, or simply Foster's for short. It's an American animated television series created by Craig McCracken for Cartoon Network. Fantastic name. It was produced by Cartoon Network Studios as the network's first show animated primarily with Adobe Flash, which who cares, right? But the episodes, Tim, revolve around Mac and Blue. It turns out that after Mac and Blue discover that when little boys and girls no longer have need for their imaginary friends, the imaginary friend goes, this is true, to an orphanage.
Now, when you say this is true, you mean this is what's in the show.
Right, okay. Right. We'll get to what's actually going on in a moment. But in the show, when a little boy or girl gets tired or no longer needs their imaginary friend, they go to an orphanage for imaginary friends until they get adopted by a new little boy or girl. Doesn't really hold up because, no little boy or girl remembers going to adopt their imaginary friend, but whatever. The episodes revolve around two buddies, Mac and Blue. They interact with the other imaginary friends at the orphanage, but the catch is that Blue won't be adopted as long as Mac visits him every day at exactly 3 p.m. Why, I don't know. I didn't watch them all. But what a weird show, first of all.
This is for children, or this is one of those like Cartoon Network shows for adults?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think children, because it's for Cartoon Network, not Adult Swim.
Okay.
Now, here's the real question. First of all, fascinating list. I am richer having learned about Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. But Tim, what in the world does that have to do with Coldplay?
Oh, I believe we discussed some sort of home for imaginary friends or home for imaginary characters at some point. That sounds like us, right?
Yeah, that does kind of sound like us. I remember us bumping up against potential illegal issues around Monsters, Inc., kind of ripping them off a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Maybe somebody that wants to go back and listen to the episode can inform us what the fuck we were talking about, because I cannot stand the sound of my own voice.
Absolutely not. Me either. But what it did remind me of, Tim, the much more dramatic conversation we had like 100 episodes ago about imaginary friends that don't go away. Do you remember Tolliver?
Oh my God. That filthy bear, man. That was from 21 Pilots, I believe. That one I remember.
Good memory. Yeah. I thought he was cat-like, but either way, we agree he was in constant need need of, starts with a D, ends with an dialysis. Dialysis, folks. Nobody likes a mangy imaginary friend constantly hooked up to a dialysis machine because, well, they'll die without it.
We got some pretty offensive drawings of what Tolliver looked like.
Very accurate. It was like they were ripped from the headlines of my brain. That's my email, Tim. Super weird, Alyssa. Great dig. I do think Tim and I were probably proposing something a little bit different, but also maybe not, because neither of us can remember.
I don't think I would have come up with visit somebody every day at 3 p.m. exactly. That sounds silly.
It also sounds very selfish, because Mac is forcing Blue to not fulfill his purpose and help another little boy or girl who's badly in need of a imaginary friend. And instead, Mac continues to visit him exactly at 3 during the adoption period, so no other little boy or girl can meet him and have adventures. It's a selfish little boy, Tim.
Perhaps one of them needs to fake their own death. Get away from each other.
Listeners write in hatePodMail@gmail.com. Can an imaginary friend fake their own death? Now that's a movie.
It's probably been done by Cartoon Network. That was probably one of the episodes.
Tim, did you bother to write down an email this week?
I did. I actually got 2. One is very short. It's from Austin Counts, who attempted to suggest Amir's felony a 3rd time. And I would just like to say, funny. Austin, you got another episode banned. Whatever we do next, you're not allowed to listen to it. He also sent us something called Fred Durst ruinmyband.com. Check that out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's probably not true, but it's really funny.
Yes. Anyway, my actual email is from Dave. Now, Dave said, I had to pause the episode to type this out on my phone at work so I don't forget to share this story. About 7 to 8 years ago, I was working at a restaurant where a lot of my coworkers were recent high school graduates. One day, while chatting with one of them and a manager during some downtime, the manager or I made a reference to Bono, which was met by a confused look from said coworker. Here is a paraphrase of our attempt to explain who is Bono to an 18-year-old in 2014. He's the singer of U2. And who are they? They did that one song, sings a part of some U2 single, Don't Know It. Or that other one, sings a part of a different song, Still No. You've got an iPhone, right? Yeah. Remember?
Why are you saying it like that?
I assume this is what that 18-year-old talked like. Remember when that album you didn't ask for and couldn't get rid of appeared on your phone? Yeah. That was U2. Oh, fuck that guy. Fuck him. Yeah, you're pretty much caught up on Bono. Just wanted to share one of my fondest memories of that job with my favorite podcast. Oh, that's sweet, Dave. Now back to the remainder of the episode.
So it's a good story made less good by your very odd reading.
Anytime you're reading a dialogue between two people, you have to do different voices. I know you're not a big voice guy, but
I'll fucking murder you.
You have to do 2 different voices to distinguish between the 2 characters so that your listener knows what the fuck's going on, and that is what I did.
You're really poking the bear this week. I don't know what your deal is, but let's just get this thing home so that I can wrap you up in a fucking carpet. Tim, do you want to start this music news of the weird, or do you want me to?
Well, Garrett, I feel like since I graciously allowed you to go first on the listener mail, I should probably do that.
Music news of the weird.
In Ed Sheeran is officially not a plagiarist news this week. We have all, of course, heard by now that Eddard has won his plagiarism suit for the song Shape of You when Judge Anthony Zaccaroli said he, quote-unquote, neither deliberately nor subconsciously copied from other artists. And in the wake of this, Ed has said that he has developed a foolproof strategy to prevent this from ever happening again. What he does, Garrett, is he films the entire writing process of all of his songs to prove how much plagiarizing he is not doing. So he's filming the entire songwriting process so that if you sue him, he can show you his writing of the song, and in that video, you will undoubtedly
see the moment he remembers Whole Lotta Love.
Yeah, exactly. No, Garrett, the intention is that you will notice he is distinctly not looking over your shoulder and copying off your paper, so he clearly could not be plagiarizing. End of story. Now,
and not simultaneously listening to other bands and writing down their lyrics.
Yes,
obviously
exactly.
not plagiarizing.
Right. Now, a slightly deeper dive into the copyright laws is actually really interesting. I don't think we discussed the Katy Perry lawsuit.
I thought we did, but okay.
Possibly. Well, she had this $2.3 million judgment against her, which was then overturned on appeal for an essentially 8-note bit that was similar to several other songs. And so she was, obviously sued for allegedly copying a small song snippet. Now, a YouTuber named Adam Neely defended her online and defended her publisher, Warner Chappell Music, music in a video, and then he was sent a manual copyright takedown notice from Warner Chappell to remove the video for infringing on Katy Perry's copyright. The key detail here is that the video did not feature those 8 notes from her song. It featured 8 notes from a song she was accused of plagiarizing, and then her record company yelled at him for playing that small song snippet, which again they did not own, for violating their copyright on a Katy Perry song because the two sounded too much alike despite arguing the exact opposite in court. The music industry is a real pile of dog shit.
Yeah. Did you catch this quote from the Talking Laundry Basket? There's only so many notes and very few chords used in pop music. Coincidence is bound to happen.
Yeah, it's a pretty stark admission that, yeah, listen, man, I'm just going to play essentially the same things and you fuckers are going to keep buying it because you feel bad for me, or I don't know, maybe you like the fact that I don't put my face on the album covers. I don't know, but you're going to keep buying it.
That is smart.
Yeah, it is smart. Garrett.
Why did they put that lightly singed Muppet on the cover of this?
Oh, man. Garrett, what first news story do you have for us this evening?
Thank you, Timberly. Tim, did you hear about Kanye West abruptly dropping out of Coachella and what happened as they scrambled to find a replacement?
I did, but I'd love to hear you tell the story.
That's very condescending, but all right. So after the organizers scrambled, reaching out to several different people, they settled on The Weeknd and Swedish House Mafia to headline the 2 Sunday performances. However, reports have emerged that the deal almost fell apart at the very last minute. Page 6 is saying Phil Anschutz, Schutz? C-H-U-T-Z. Schutz. Page 6 is reporting Phil Anschutz, who owns the Coachella Festival, allegedly tried to pay The Weeknd, quote, just a few $1 million during the contract negotiations and said the festival would pocket the rest of the $8 million that they had set aside for Kanye. Then AEG went ahead and announced that The Weeknd would be headlining before he actually signed a contract. So The Weeknd gave him a call and was like, you're going to give me the same amount of money or you're going to have to announce that a second headliner has now quit. And so they agreed to give him the original Kanye $8 million. I don't even know what
it's like 8.6 million, something like that. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Oh, they really lowballed him. No news, Tim, on whether or not the Swedish House Mafia will be receiving the same paycheck, though all signs point to no.
Possibly they should get 0 because, well, they've already spent the Kanye money.
Well, that's not SHM's fault.
Oh, sure. But
they were invited to play. Hey, we'd love to have you headline. Oh my God, this is a dream come true. We cannot pay you. What do you do?
Maybe they do it for the exposure. Isn't that something the music industry likes saying?
They don't need it. Anyway, Tim, did you also get more news?
I did, Garrett, in Arby's news. Terrence LeVar Thornton, a.k.a. Pusha T, is collaboing with Arby's in what sounds like an Onion article written by the Washington Post to release what he is calling the Spicy Fish Diss Track, a song promoting Arby's new spicy fish sandwich while dissing on McDonald's Filet-O-Fish. Pusha is apparently mad because he and his brother No Malice allegedly wrote McDonald's jingle, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it, although that has been disputed a number of times, but we're only paid...
I thought Justin Timberlake had a hand in that.
He sang it, but apparently Pusha T claims he wrote it. But he was
it's catchy as fuck.
Sure. And he's mad because he was paid $1 million at the time, and that has since made the clown-based corporation quite a bit of money, and Pusha thinks they should give him some of that money despite having paid him in full. So perhaps he will have better luck with Arby's and his spicy fish diss track, which I'm sure will be just as culturally relevant and catchy as the ba-da-ba-ba-ba thing.
Tim, you gotta put some soul in it.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it. Fucked me.
Very nice. No, come on, man.
Anyway, Garrett, that is my Arby's news. What is your Arby's news?
Well, Tim, in additional Arby's news, congratulations are in order. Miss Avril Lavigne, a.k.a. Melissa the Clone, is engaged to be wed to some guy named Sun Moon. In case anybody's interested.
Holy shit. I'm sorry. She's in a cult?
No. He's just a jackass.
Oh, okay.
He is a rapper and sometimes member of various pop punk and post-hardcore groups.
Okay. Yeah. But he does have a compound.
Presumably.
Yeah.
He posted several photos with he and Avril, aka Melissa, and several videos and photos of the two wearing what I believe, Tim, are matching heart-shaped engagement rings, which is
hot.
Something apparently hot. But he also took the time to write a poem and post it publicly on the internet. Sun Moon wrote, quote, "The day we met, I knew you were the one. Together forever, till our days are done. I had a dream where I proposed in Paris. I pulled out a ring, asked you to wear it. I was on one one knee as I looked in your eyes. Didn't we mention that earlier in the episode? No eye looking. You're too beautiful for my words to describe. I grabbed your hand, took one last breath. I said, will you marry me? She said yes. End quote.
Now, I was honestly half expecting the poem to just be a complete ripoff of Bryan Adams' Everything I Do It For You. Like he's SMSing some people in a foreign language.
Look into your heart. You will see. No, this was all posted publicly and people did not mock him for some reason. Don't understand it. We wish the two the best, though. If you're looking at Miss Levine, aka Melissa the Clone's track record, this dude's probably got about 18 months.
Sad.
Tim, what other nuptial engagement and or celebration news do you have?
Well, Garrett and Robert James Ritchie, a.k.a. Kid Rock, a.k.a. Bobby Shazam News. Mr. Shazam has a new intro for all of his concerts. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, okay. Well, in a video of Garrett's, or I should say by Garrett's sixth favorite president, Donald J. Trump, begins
That's not funny.
Every show. Oh, name six other presidents that you like more than him. Exactly.
Madison, Lincoln,
there's 2.
Washington,
3,
Clinton,
4,
Bush,
5,
Bush.
That's the same
I think
guy.
Gore gets a half vote. That's 2
none
different
of those
people.
guys. That's 5 people you like better than him.
Shut
so
the
my
fuck up.
thing,
I'm not done.
Sixth favorite president. Anyway,
Nixon. Johnson, Ford,
Johnson,
Kennedy.
Okay, you can name presidents, sure, but
yeah, you think I can't?
He is your 6th favorite. Anyway,
fuck you.
He now begins every show saying, "Hello, everyone. I love you all. I know you're having a great time at the Kid Rock concert tonight. Quite frankly, he's amazing. All of you in attendance are the true backbone of our great country. Hardworking, God-fearing rock and roll patriots. Bob is truly one of the greatest entertainers of our time. Not the best golfer by any means. His golf game could use a little work, but a great, great entertainer. And that's why you're there. Let's all continue to love one another, fight for our God-given freedoms, and most of all, let's make America rock again." He then puts on a Make America Rock Again hat because, Jesus Christ. And then Mr. Shazam begins playing We the People, a song that has been requested for us to discuss at least 38 times. I don't think so.
Well, probably eventually.
But the point is, what the fuck is happening?
Our president is essentially on Cameo. Or our ex-president. Or former president?
That's
I don't know.
True.
Future president?
Future president is where it's at. Now, I guess he's sort of paying back Bobby Shazam after he
This is a new check.
Oh.
Yeah. He doesn't get out of bed for less than 7 figures to talk to a crowd of people. God damn, dude. This is fucked up. We're getting inching closer to President Camacho.
Yeah, well, you know.
It's got electrolytes.
Garrett, do you have any other depressing news about the future of our country?
No, but I will end on a weird sliding doors tidbit I learned this week, Tim. While reviewing the TiVo, I noticed that you're still recording Ellen, a show I did not think was still a thing. And on a recent episode, Miss Gwen Stefani was there. And she admitted that she was in the final 2 to play the opposite Brad Pitt in Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
That's okay.
Fascinating, right?
Now, I assume if we play that out, Brad marries Gwen. Angelina Jolie does, I don't know what she does. Who is she cheating on with? Okay, yep. She dies.
Stays with Billy Bob Thornton.
Right. The Billy Bob fakes his death on a bridge. And she's very sad.
I gotta get out of here.
As you would. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. So at worst, Gwen Stefani ends up with Brad Pitt, avoids that cowboy nonsense.
He is not a true cowboy. Scenario. He is a false prophet in our
paper cowboy.
Yeah.
Best case scenario, Tim, there's no attraction, no chemistry, and America's couple doesn't break up. Brad Pitt stays with Jen Aniston, the two live happily ever after. That's what I wanted to see.
I just want her to be happy, you know?
You know what? You're right. And when you're right, you're right.
Whatever.
Tim, any other news before we continue?
No, I think I'm good.
Great. That brings us to, well, one of my favorite parts of the show, Tim, where we announce next week's album. Do you have next week's album prepared?
I have next week's band prepared, if that helps.
It does help. It's a start.
We're back to Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, but I don't know what album.
We don't remember the album. Exciting.
Yeah, so you look that up, I guess. Oh, there's ska. Oh, God damn it. All right. So we're going to do Let's Face It.
By the Mighty Mighty Bosstones. Tim, predictions? Do you know anything about this album?
I've heard that song, the Never Had to Knock on Wood. Never have I ever. I mean, I have.
The impression that I get.
Right.
Oh, you're very superstitious, or you have horrible OCD. I don't know which, but you're always tapping and knocking and twisting and gliding. I'm
trying
obnoxious.
to dance.
Oh, then it's sad.
Now, do you know that the Mighty Mighty Bosstones have a Tim in their band?
They have like 8 people in their band, so it's not impossible to imagine.
That's true, but he did name himself Johnny to get away from the Tim, so I don't know if we claim him or not.
Probably not. And they're no polyphonic spree. There's like 68 people in that band. Yeah. It's probably 6 Tims.
Probably.
I think
there's a dog.
There is a dog. There's 100% a dog in that band. And he's great. He's a good boy. He's no bad man,
so we're going to do a 1997 Mighty Mighty Bosstones album.
Enjoy it, jerks. No, of course not. We love you.
Yeah,
you're the listeners. And some of you are jerks. It's true. But that's okay. We appreciate you anyway. All right, Timmy. Speaking of appreciation, you want to show a little appreciation our direction, go to whatever podcasting device and or software you use to listen to this show and rate, review, subscribe, follow, give us your social. I don't know. Whatever it is you can do through that app, ideally.
If you give us your social, you have done enough. We will take it from there.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything else. But if you're not comfortable giving us your mother's maiden name, you could open the Apple Podcast app just that one time. Give us the 5 stars, ideally a hilarious or deep cuts and or insulting review. Just, 5 stars, get the review out of the way. We'd really appreciate it. It makes a big difference. You'd be shocked how much of a difference it makes. And if you're enjoying the show, we don't ask for money. We haven't put any ads in yet, though that could happen. Anyway, you'd be doing us a huge favor. If you want to reach out to us and we want to hear from you, you can write in at hatePodMail@gmail.com, or you can go to hatepod.com and click and contact us in the upper left-hand corner. Either one, that's going to take you to us, and we want to hear from you. Give us your thoughts, ideas, hopes, dreams, what you like, don't like, artwork. I'm still waiting for a sound drop for Kanye Watch, because that guy's not going to stop appearing in our news. So we might as well get a segment. Artwork, songs, submissions, ideas, we want it all. You can also reach out to us on Instagram, that's HatePod. Twitter's Album HatePod. I'm G Harvey Tweets on Twitter. If you want to reach out to me, God knows why, but I'll talk to you. And we got Discord servers, we got subreddits. I mean, if you want to reach out, you want to talk about the show, there's other folks like you, other listeners, and of course, other viewers. Please do find the feed. But we're not going to make it easy on you. You can talk to each other about how much you do or don't like the show, or I don't give a shit. But it's out there. For Why I Hate This Album, I have been one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey.
I have been the other, Timothy P. Richardson. And on November 30th, 2015, Garrett P. Harvey said, "You will be the reason those desserts end up behind glass."
Yeah, you got a little bit of a sneeze issue.
Yeah.
And a touch issue.
Yeah.
I just want to see it. Well, put your hands down.
Before you judge me, though, this was before COVID. It was still funny then.
It wasn't. Don't put your hands in pudding. That's not how you see it.
Put my nose in pudding.
Just the once. That was a dare.
There's cowboys running through my dreams. Nothing's quite the way it seems. I joined the Navy, got kicked out in a week. My facial features aren't distinct. Try to find some meaning in these songs. The genius is a genius, got it wrong. No, it's a lobster murder sex thing. It's the bleaching of the rear. A full assault on both your ears. The riffs are too repetitive. The lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides. The cover art's a mess. Listen to it for a week. Now that week has passed. It's the Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Gary.